r/ask Reddit. What thing that people love is basically just a rip-off. Anything with the word wedding in front of it. Wedding flowers. Wedding invitations. Wedding dresses. Invitations $5, wedding invitations $20, cake $50, wedding cake $500. They can charge whatever and people just pay it. Wedding planners. Vacation spots. Places and people like that all depend on one simple phrase to function. Oh honey, this is a special occasion. Who cares about the price? If that phrase didn't exist, there wouldn't be half the profit. Anyone that says they are a nutritionist, it is not a protected term. Dietitian is the legally protected term. To borrow a quote, dietitian is like dentist, while nutritionist is like toothologist. Double quote. Edit. To clarify, this is in the UK. Edit 2. Yes, the toothologist bit did come from Dara o acute Brian. Can I advertise myself as a nutritionist then? Like, no penalty? Pretty much. I can't think of a reason you couldn't. With the amount of shit peddles at people by nutritionists already, you could probably tell people to eat raw chicken and they'd pay you. Bottled water in most US cities. NYC enjoys the cleanest tap water. Cleaner than some bottled waters, in fact, yet people spend upwards of $5.06 to have it packaged in plastic. Same in the Netherlands. Simple tap water actually has more minerals, is extremely clean and is way cheaper. Central Europe in general has very harsh regulations for tap water. Harsher than the bottled one. I don't know if it's necessarily beloved anymore, but what was basically Angry Birds existed long before the app and smartphones did. It was called Crush the Castle. I don't know if the same people had a hand in making it, but if not, I always saw it as pretty shitty. That app was a runaway success while the original concept game went relatively unknown. That being said, Crush the Castle might have been a rip-off of something else. I'm not sure. Pretty much every popular mobile game has a previous incarnation as some flash game from the last decade. Well, I demand my mobile adaptations of Zombie Trailer Park, Dracula and Darkest Fear. Velcro. Now you've got me hooked. Diamond rings. Great con job. Diamonds on Earth. Convinced the entire, previously indifferent world that everybody wanted a diamond, and always had. Funerals and burials. Scam artists that take advantage of your mental state following a loved one's death. Yep, I detest the funeral industry. Everything they do is massively overpriced and they use people's grief and guilt to get away with it. I've made it very clear to my family that I don't care about a funeral or particular method of burial, cremation. Just go with what's cheapest and most convenient. Save that money and do something nice with it. I want to be mostly cremated and a little bust made of me in a clear block of plastic with my ashes like those bubble sculpture light up thingies. I say mostly cremated because I want a little bubble of my blood and a finger bone encased in there. I also want a little block in there that is an RFID memory chip. Anyone with a reader would find a digital image of me, and a biography. The goal would be to have something sturdy to out on the mantle, or use as a doorstop. That's more than a pot of grandpa's ashes. It's something interactive and still somewhat alive. Either that, or I would want that same RFID chip planted with my ashes under a tree. Think of a wild forest of trees sequestering carbon for later generations. But each one also has a part of someone in the past, with a record of who they were beyond their name and when they died. I feel this would be more useful than graveyards we have now. I mean, I don't care, either. Today I learned rip-off in English has two distinct meanings. Something that just costs you more money than it should, and something that is a copy of a copy. Something. Edit. Holy shit. 2,300 plus points? I thought no one would upvote this. It is just a non-native English speaker's revelation. I thought it would be not interesting for natives. LOL. Well, thanks. True. Depends on context though. You paid $200 for that Gucci purse on a NYC street corner? What a ripoff. Keurig. Buy a stupid expensive machine and then have to continue to buy those expensive cups. A regular coffee maker costs around $20. Filters are less than like $1.50 for 200. And ground coffee is super cheap and lasts forever. While still more expensive, they have washable cups you can put your own coffee in. So you can use the special cups or whatever else you can put in one. I heard about those, but then I heard they started making their machines so only the K-cups specifically would work in them. I'm also mad about the waste those cups produce. Any food item with the word healthy, pretty much. Natural as well. The FDA has not developed a definition for use of the term natural, so anytime you see it on a food product it's just marketing and really means nothing. I prefer my supernatural food with antimatter. Fruit. What? It's ripped off a tree. Joel Osteen. All online TV preachers who peddle merch. My mom and grandma live this guy because he basically strokes the viewer's ego with Jesus. He then directly goes against the message of the Bible by commercializing his church and selling books. I was raised Christian and am currently unsure what I believe, but I know for sure Joel is as much a hack as any other televangelist. There is literally a Bible story where Jesus goes apeshit outside a church because people were selling sacrificial animals. The story is better than just he went apeshit. First off, it was within the temple, not outside. Second, he doesn't just lose it, he makes stuff to beat people with, thinking it was a whip, and then he goes biblical on the place. It wasn't just losing temper on the street, it was a calculated rampage in a holy place. Posts on Reddit, reposts, bots, even some comments are just bots reposting popular comments from other sites. Every account on Reddit is a bot except you. Every account on Reddit is a bot except you. Fiji water. It's taking water from an aquifer in Fiji where, once the aquifer is tapped out, the locals will be screwed out of their water source completely. Meanwhile, hardly any of the profits generated by sales help the local economy. The water is put into bottles shipped over from China. Then the filled bottles are shipped all over the world, where they are preferred over local municipal water sources for no good reason at all. Think of all the fuel burned for this and all of the logistics and operations required in order to provide this product that has literally no added benefit over locally sourced water. It's a mind-boggling example of the power of marketing. Edit. Spelling. Fiji is owned by the same couple who own Pom Wonderful, which sells pomegranate juice from their orchards on SoCal. They also have scammed the state of CA into paying for the water they use to irrigate said pomegranate eshps. www.newyorker.com magazine, the 31st of March 2008. Pomegranate Prince eshps. La. Curbed. Com 2016. 810-124220000 Resnick Wonderful Water California Kern Drought. Yeah, the Resnicks. They also sell a lot of pistachios, which are a thirsty crop. Poor people in agricultural communities are seeing their wells dry up due to industrial agriculture by companies such those owned by the Resnicks. I recently watched a documentary on this on Netflix, though the name escapes me at the moment. Smart products. Just because my juicer connects via Wi-Fi doesn't mean my juice comes out sweeter. I bought a ducking $20 light bulb that has a Wi-Fi chip in it. Unnecessary? Completely. But damn, I love turning off the lights in my room without getting out of bed. You know, if you like it, it's worth it. I think there are many more examples of Wi-Fi enabled things that are ridiculous. Victoria's Secret. There are so many great online lingerie shops, but all I hear about at Victoria's Secret. There's a lingerie store I go to called La Senza that's owned by the same parent company as Victoria's Secret, and the bras are around half the price for the same quality. Their bra semi-annual sale was $6. I love them too. But wings. They're the cheapest part of the chicken that used to just be thrown out with the rest of the chicken. They're literally worth pennies, and we're at Buffalo Wild Wings spending $25 on 14 wings and small basket of cheap frozen fries. I hate how people lose their shit over that place. Due to demand, now there is an actual wing shortage. Now wings are the most expensive part of the chicken. Heads up. That's why boneless wings, which are really just 80% breeding / 20% chicken breast, are a thing now. The Hunger Games is a ripoff of Battle Royale. It's Battle Royale with cheese. It's because of the metric system. Instagram stories. I still don't like that Mark Zuckerberg ripped off Snapchat. Not cool. It was pretty ducked up, and I noticed that all the actors and stuff I followed on Snapchat stopped posting as soon as Instagram added stories. Though with that last Snapchat update, I don't think many people use it anymore anyway because yikes. Designer band-aids. If you mean the ones with cartoons on them, they are a rip-off, but hey, kids are comforted by them when they get boo-boos and won't be so goddamn melodramatic about it because they look down and see SpongeBob on it, unless you mean those Givenchy band-aids or something. I'm 30 and I still buy my bandages with Disney princesses on them. The touchscreen infotainment system in your car. Your smartphone will always be better. A regular radio with an aux cable hooked to your phone would be cheaper and have better navigation. Choices for last car I bought were weighted heavily on whether I could mirror my phone's UI and the car's infotainment system. The Fast and the Furious is Point Break with cars. Makes me wonder what 2.2 breakthrough point BR8K would be like. Oreo. Hydrox came first. People need to know the truth. I got your back. They don't make Hydrox anymore, though, which is a shame, because I'd love to try them and compare to Oreos. Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code. This is going back a bit, but everyone thought Brown's novel with its conspiracy theories on the history of Catholic Church was so revolutionary. All of those ideas had already been hashed out in a book from the 1980s called Holy Blood, Holy Grail. In fact, one of the authors of that book tried to sue Dan Brown for copyright infringement. Not renowned author Dan Brown, open bracket, https://www. Telegraph Company. Books authors don't make fun of renowned Dan Brown. Crunchy nut cornflakes are just Frosties for wankers. Cornflakes for wankers, actually that checks out. That was their original purpose. LuLaRoe. I had never even heard of it until I started working in a school. They really target busy middle-aged women, which is true of most teachers. So much LuLa at my school. The clothing is like stretchy potato sacks with ugly prints on them. Super unflattering. I was shocked when I found out how much it costs. Considering that it's all mass-produced from low-quality synthetic fabric. You're not even supposed to put it in the washing machine, because it will fade or rip. It's so shitty and cheap. Some of the dresses look okay, but they're nothing you can't find from other retailers that aren't shitty MLMs. The thing that horrifies me is the LuLa suits that are touted as professional wear and perfectly appropriate alternatives to actual suits. They're ducking pajamas. People, this is a textbook emperor has no clothes situation. Monster AV cables. Designer dog breeds. Doodles. Shippos. Cavachans. Pomsky, etc. Breeding two poorly bred dogs together doesn't make them healthier or less maintenance. Grooming. Training. Paying several $1,000s on a dog of unknown lineage with no health testing is just supporting irresponsible breeders and their pretty websites. Hypoallergenic is a marketing term and hasn't been proved scientifically in any breed. Same with low or non-shedding. Brush your dog or take them to the groomers. Take obedience classes and socialize them, as early and as often as you can. Anything homeopathic. Classed as natural medicine, alternative therapy or involving psychics, spiritualists, preachers. None of it works if you are the customer. It's great when you are the one selling the service. My favorite band, Sublime, less like 8 songs, is basically a mashup of old reggae dancehall songs. Loving is what I got. Caress Me Down. They still had to write lyrics and make the overall sound appealing, marketable to the American mainstream though. Vitamins. For people who doesn't have vitamin deficiency, it's basically ingredients for very expensive pee. I dunno. I don't have a vitamin D deficiency, however when I started taking the supplements, my winter depression disappeared over the course of a week. May have been a placebo effect, but I ain't giving them up. D3 supplementation can make a difference. I think OP means multivitamins, which are largely a waste. Buying an iMac only to edit videos in Adobe Premiere instead of Final Cut Pro X. Side of avocado. $2 for a scoop of it on a bowl at Chipotle is ridiculous, but I can never resist. Beats headphones. They are made with about $15 worth of parts and it's literally all just marketing. There are videos where people have taken them apart. They even have weights in them to make them feel heavier and like a better, sturdier product. They are, however, simply junk and a total ripoff. Starbucks or any $4 cup coffee drink. Most cheap coffee is dependent on what is essentially slave labor, and is built on a foundation of taking advantage of poor people in developing nations. Generally, any good cafe serving coffee for more than $3 a cup is doing their part to enhance the supply chain and provide a better life for the disenfranchised coffee farmers. Open bracket. I work as a green coffee importer and have traveled to source in many countries. A regular sized coffee at Starbucks is like $2. Beats by Dr. Dre. $20 hardware with a $200 price tag. Facebook. What started out Facebook was a way to connect with people, find out who's single, and where the parties were at. Algorithms reduce your actual potential reach to talk with your friends and make the conversation about what you all find relevant. Facebook used information predictability aggregation to realize people love babies, weddings, funerals, etc. Now you'll see those stories ahead of someone talking about their favorite album they just heard. Then politics became a thing and people realized they loved talking about it on Facebook. So they paid and shared false stories to create a narrative that Facebook propagated because of predictability algorithms. So what started as a cool way for all of us to connect as a community became a way for us to be influenced and controlled by a corporation. Playing the lotto. My parents spent money getting health advice from a naturopath. They still trust doctors as their primary medical professionals, but still, they gave money to a naturopath. What the duck? Who knows nutrology better? That's why I get all my psychology done by a psychopath. My 4-year-old loves these overpriced toys called squeezies. I'm convinced they are just dog toys you could get at a dollar store with a more decorative box. Diamonds. Our iPhones. They run smoother, last longer, and have better software than the alternatives. The anti-Apple hate is so over-exaggerated they are fine phones. Alcohol, taxed very heavily and most of the market controlled by one large corporation in my country. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.